Welcome back to the stovetop. So in this video, I'm going to be trying out for the first time 3 Peckered Billy Goat. This is a dark roast from Raven's Brew Coffee. I got this coffee from my friend Faas.
The 460, don't be a bitch.
Yeah, that guy. He also gave me Misty Fjords. This is a medium roast, also from Raven's Brew Coffee. I've already done a review video on this. I'll include a link to that video and DM Foss's YouTube channel at the end of this video. So describing this 12-ounce bag of whole bean coffee, it's got an orange background. There's coffee beans on the top, and there's a picture of a white billy goat. It says Raven's Brew Coffee, 3 Peckered Billy Goat. Sup from the cup that keeps you up. Dark roast coffee. And there's some information here about the coffee and yeah, stuff like that, QR code and whatnot. On the back, there's brewing instructions. Now, with the Misty Fjords, I didn't follow the brewing instructions. I'm going to attempt to follow them with this. I ended up using more beans than I would normally use in order to give the Misty Fjords a bold taste. So I'm going to try to follow the instructions on this and see if that maybe helps out some. So for 54 ounces of water, it calls for 3 ounces of coffee beans. The coffee pot I have is 60 ounces, so I'm going to try to use this measuring cup to measure out the beans. Now, there's a Best By date on here of August 4th, 2026, and it's October 15th, 2025. So this coffee has about a 1-year shelf life, which is kind of nice. Also on the back of the bag, it talks about the tasting notes of the coffee. Dark chocolate, nutty, fruity sweetness. Heavy, full body, low medium acidity. Okay. So let me go ahead and just peel off the clear tape on the back. And it's got a folding tab back here so you can reseal it. And there's a dotted line with a symbol for scissors. So just like before, I'll cut on the dotted line. You see there's some a few light beans in there, but mostly dark beans, and they're oily. Yeah, I didn't get the coffee smell when I opened the bag, but when I put it up to my nose, I get the smell. All right. As some of you may know, I'm not really a dark roast kind of guy, but I've been surprised by a few dark roasts that I've had, so I'll give this a try. So I'm going to measure 3 ounces, or try to get it close to 3 ounces. Let's see. I don't even know if this is the right way to do it. I'm just sort of guessing at it. Yeah, that's between 2 and 4, so I have wiped out any old coffee grounds, or as many as I could get out of the coffee grinder, so that I can make sure I don't get anything from any other coffee in here. You can see it's about 3/4 full. So I'll grind this up and I'll brew it in Mr. Coffee with reverse osmosis purified drinking water. I'm not going to rinse the filter, and I'll brew it on the stronger of the 2 settings. And this is what it looks like after I ground it. It ground fairly evenly. It was a little powdery on the lid, but I don't think that's going to affect anything. So after this is done brewing, I'll be back with the first cup. All right, I'm back with the first cup. I've already poured it and given it a few minutes to cool down. While I was waiting for the coffee to brew, I extended the updates on Windows 10 on my desktop downstairs for another year and watched a YouTube video and edited up a short, garden short. So I used a little time management. And I'm using some time management right now by stalling to give the coffee a little bit more time to cool. On the bag, there's some story about some Ethiopian goat herder that saw one of his goats eat coffee beans off the plant, and um, he saw how the goat was acting and decided to try these things out for himself, and thus coffee was invented. I think the story about how alcohol was invented was the same way. The people saw the animals eating the rotting fruit and were stumbling around and acting weird, so they wanted to figure out why. And you know, I don't know, but it makes for an interesting story. Don't know if it's true or if it's some sort of ancient urban legend, but something to read while you're waiting for the coffee to brew. So let me go ahead and give it a smell test. Now, I didn't smell anything while it was brewing. I thought I might, but not this time. For me, it's not a strong smell, but it smells like coffee. It doesn't smell bad. Okay. The first sip was smooth. Um, I don't want to say it's weak, but it's not really that strong. I'm kind of waiting for uh, like it wasn't bitter when I took the sip. Kind of waiting for a bitter aftertaste, but I'm not getting it. Yeah, first two sips, that's not too bad for a dark roast. So I'll go have a few more cups and I'll come back with my final thoughts. So I've had 2.5 cups of coffee, and on the third sip of the first cup, I noticed the dark chocolate. It's slight, but it's there. And it is just a little sweet. I wouldn't say fruity sweetness, but it's a little bit sweet, but that kind of goes with the dark chocolate. I'm not saying it's a chocolate flavored coffee, but you get kind of that cocoa kind of taste in there. It is definitely full bodied. This is a very smooth dark roast. As I said earlier, I'm not a dark roast guy, but I like this. I would definitely get this if I placed an order online with Raven's Brew Coffee, which I may be doing. It's not bitter at all, like most of the dark roasts I've had. It doesn't smell like an ashtray, like most of the dark roasts that I've had. I did let it cool down until it got lukewarm, and it didn't get bitter. It stayed smooth. I mean, overall, this is a really good coffee. So if you're more of a medium roast kind of person, but you wanted to try a dark roast, I would definitely suggest this. So to DM Faas, I'd like to say thank you very much. You sent me home from Thunder on the Prairie with two coffees that are excellent that I would have never known about if you hadn't given me these. And this has helped me kind of get back into making coffee review videos. Now, I'm not saying I've got anything planned for the near future. I'm still backed up on other videos to edit, but yeah, I might be going over to the Ravens Brew Coffee website, which I'll include a link to in the description section, and seeing what else they've got to offer. Thanks for watching.